Yeah, it's Christodoulou here, 2019 European and National Aquathlon Champion in my age group. And today I'm going to talk about how to structure your training plan for running to get that PB that you're after. In any run training, it's important that you have a plan in place. So the training plan is very important that you have a certain structure when you want to achieve a target or a PB in a race. This training plan could be anything like a 2-week plan, a 4-week plan, a 6-week plan, 8-week plan, 12-week plan, and so on, depending what you're training for. So if it's like a 5K, it could be an 8-week plan. And if it's for like a marathon, it could be up to an 18-week plan or longer. So that's firstly is getting a training plan, and then you need to look at how to structure this plan. So what you need to do is that you need to look at what you've done in the past. So you look at your running, what you've done, what has worked for you, and what hasn't worked for you. So you look at your previous runs and stuff. And this is one of the mistakes that people make, though, is that they look at what they did previously and just copy it over and over and over again. Now, what may have worked for you last year and what worked really well won't necessarily work for you this year. Now, the reason why that happens is because your body becomes stale and used to what you do when you're training. So when you carry on doing the same stuff over and over again, week in, week out, no matter what you do, so if you do like long runs, same speed sessions, week in, week out, your body gets used to it, and then you will become stale and you will go backwards. Now that's one of the problems that people make, is that they don't realise, they think, oh, for this marathon plan, for example, that worked really well and a massive PB, and then they do it again the following year and then wonder why they've gone backwards. It's because you've trained the same sort of stuff over and over again, and your body just got used to it, and you're not actually challenging your body into improving. So firstly, that's the sort of structure you need to look at, is what's worked for me and what hasn't worked. But you don't want to copy all of it. So once you looked at that, then look at for new ideas. So what you think about doing. So if you're going to train for 5K or 10K, so you want to look at like shorter speed reps for cadence, and also some long endurance reps as well in there to help your endurance for speed and your efficiency. So for example, I'll discuss like my training plan, how I would structure it. So if you've got just a purely run training plan, and you've got you do 4 runs a week, for example, that's what I do. Depending when it is in the season and what you're training for, if I'm training for a 10K, for example, or half marathon, this is very similar to what I would be doing for it. So firstly, I'd have 4 runs. So I'd run on a Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and a Sunday. So the reason is, so Tuesday I go hard, so I go really hard on the hard day. I give my legs a rest, and then on the Thursday I do an easy run, and on the Friday I go hard again, and I go easy on the Sunday. So easy means easy, hard means hard, no moderate, no steady, if you get what I mean. That's the mistakes people make. They're overtraining, and that was on a previous video. So what you do is you need to work out the structure of those runs. So everything has a purpose. So every run should have a purpose and a meaning why you're doing it. So you shouldn't just go out and say, well, I'm going to run 10 miles because I fancy running 10 miles. What is the purpose of that for you? So you need to look at what you want to do, what you want to get out of it, and what your goals are. So if I'm training for a 5K or 10K, for example, I might have a 6-week training program or even 8-week training program. So what I would do is that, as I said, I'd have in my regular program, I'd either have 3 easy runs and 1 speed session, or I'd have 2 speed sessions and 2 easy runs. Now my structure of my speed sessions, if I do 2, will be a shorter one, which would be like anything up to 400 meter reps. So it'll be 400s, 200s, 300s, 50 meters, 80 meters, 30-second sprints, 10-second sprints, all that sort of stuff to improve your cadence, and also you're pushing very hard and sprinting, and also getting that VO2, like getting out of breath and that VO2 max, like pushing it up to the top, and then you're coming back down in the recovery. So that's the first session I would do, speed session. Another speed session that I would add would be a endurance for speed. So improving my efficiency and endurance, and trying to maintain that speed at a certain pace. Now things could be anything above 800 meters. So I like doing 8 times 800 meters, or mile reps. I find mile reps are really good, or you could do K reps, for example. But I find mile reps are good because when you're running, like say half marathon stuff, that's good to have a basis of what you can do, and you can build that up. So you can start with 1 mile rep one week, and then you can do 2 mile reps the following week, so 2 times 1 mile reps, and you can have like 3 to 4 minutes recovery between them. When I was training for half marathon a few years ago and I broke the 120-minute barrier, I went up to 8 mile reps, and I had 3 minutes recovery between them, so I went up. So that's about, I built that up at a amount of time. Then you've got your long runs. So my long runs aren't majorly long, so I have a 60-minute run, and then I will have a 90-minute run, for example. So what you do with them runs is they mean something. So easy means easy, and these for example, these long runs will build efficiency, endurance, and will make you go faster. With these, you need to make sure you're doing them right. So they have to be like zone 2 or even slower. Slower the better. So I'll do 60 minutes first week, and 90 minutes in the second week. Then the following, so what I do for 3 weeks, I will add 9 minutes on the longer run, which will take me up to 1 hour and 57 for 3 weeks, after 3 weeks. And I also add 6 minutes onto the shorter run, the 60-minute run, which will end up being 1 hour 18. So once you've got that, you've gone up to nearly 2 hours in the long run. You maintain it for 3 weeks, so further 3 weeks maintain it, then strip it all back down. So you've got really easy weeks, so you'll strip your speed session, keep the intensity in there. It's important you keep the intensity here, but if, say for example you've done 6 mile reps, go back down to 1 mile rep or 2 mile reps max. Then I would cut down the second run session to like a 30-minute run. I'd bring down the 2 long runs down to maximum of an hour. So it gives your body like a recovery week, and it's important that you do have these recovery weeks and easy weeks, so your body repairs and recovers and you get stronger. For example, I've recently come off a 2-week easy break, and I've done 2 tests on the bike, for example. I don't talk about the bike now, but FTP test and run 5k time trial. And my 5k time trial, although I've improved hugely, was better than my PB that I did officially in a race. So it just shows you that recovery weeks really help. So that's the sort of structure that I use and teach athletes as well with that. But you can mix up the long runs, so you can do that the last 5 minutes fast, the last mile fast, for example. So you can work out that. You can change one of the runs, the harder runs, to a threshold run. So you could do like 10 minutes of easy running, 10 minutes 10k pace, for example, or half marathon pace. And then you could do like 10 minutes of easy running and repeat that for 10 minutes. So that's the sort of structure for running for a week, and then over a 6-week plan, like how I'd change it. And like, but what I don't do is that I won't do, for example, if I did 6 times 400s one week, I won't do them the following week. So it's important that you change it up regularly. So you should change your training up regularly. So don't copy what worked out the following week. So for example, what I did say, if you do 1 mile rep, then make sure you do 2 mile reps. You need to keep pushing yourself on that aspect. And the reason you go easy on easy days is so you can push yourself really hard on hard days and really get the maximum benefit from this. Now, once you've done that, and you've worked out a typical structure for the week, you need to make sure you have your rest days. Now the rest days are really important, and I would recommend a minimum, and I mean a minimum of one rest day. So that's not doing cycling or doing yoga or going swimming. Rest means rest, so it's complete rest day. Your body recovers, it allows it to recover, and you come back and you're stronger. If you don't do this, you're going to get injured, and the problem is you'll get injured, and then you'll get many setbacks from it. So that was one. You can have 2 rest days, not a problem. I have 2 rest days. So also it's important that if you're training for a race that you do taper. So I normally do a week taper for my races to bring it down. And as I said previously, that if you do a 2-week, like I did 2 weeks easy, I still came off the back of great shape. Now when I talk about 2 weeks easy, I did 3 runs, and they weren't even one was up to an hour, and the rest were like 30-minute and 40-minute runs, just jogging. And I'm talking about I was running like 2 to 3 minutes slower than my long run heart rate pace. So there you go, there's an example. So once you've done the rest, so it's important that you've got that structured and you work out. Like I like to have 2 rest days before a race or a big race, so look out for the structure like that. And then assess. Now it's important as well that before and after you do your plan, so if you're doing a 6 or 8 week plan, for example, that you do test yourself regularly. So like a 5k time trial or a 10-minute test at the beginning, and then at the end to see how far you've come or where you are at, and then what you need to improve at. And even in your long run, for example, when you do your first long run and you go back and you start again in say 9 weeks time, you do the same route, you can see. But it's important that you do it in the same route and the same conditions that you had before, and preferably what you've eaten before as well. I know it's hard, but to do that. So that's a sort of basic way to do your structure. Now another way you could do it is that if you have got a race, you can tick the race off in the future, put it on the like I got a Word document I do, and you can put it in right at the end on the plan, and then work backwards, or you will work towards it and see how you go. Now the important is that you do allow your body to recover, and you don't like pound all year round. And as I did stress before, that what works for you preferably before may not work now for you, because your body gets used to it. So it's important that you do change it up, and that your body does regularly get pushed in the hard sessions, so that you are able to improve. And I'm not a big fan of going out and doing pointless junk miles. So it's important that these sessions have a meaning. So for example, the long run was to build my endurance and efficiency, and the shorter long run can go even slower. Sometimes I run it even slower with my running club, and I'm doing 8:30s minute miles instead of running my 7-minute miles at zone 2, for example. So you could do that and go slow, and that could be like a recovery one, and then you're fresh for the following day to go hard. Now with any sort of plan, any across the board, there's one thing that I suggest that you do put it in, and is strength training. Now strength training is neglected by runners, and what you should do is that you should try at least just a 20-minute session once a week, or twice, just max, just to work on your core and your legs, so they're strengthened, so you can keep them injuries to minimal. And of course, strength training does make you faster. And just remember, strength training, as you're a runner, you won't bulk up, so don't worry about that. And so if you do the strength training, just 20 minutes once a week, maximum twice a week, and make sure you get them stretches before and after running. And that's how to do it, to set a plan for you. And it's important that you do a plan, because you know what you're doing, and you can actually focus on something. But it's also important that you know that just because you've written it down, you don't have to do it. So if you're feeling under the weather or don't feel like it, you can change it up and just swap it around or change. So you need to be flexible with it. So they're my tips on how to set up a running plan. I hope you enjoyed. So leave any comments. How do you structure your running plan? And please subscribe and like the video, and thank you very much.
And the champions of this age group category, Henrietta Pasapic and Yiannis Christodoulou, Christodoulou.